Welcome to our Science of Canning segment, this one titled pH of Foods. I'm Jessica, home canning expert.
And I'm Brandon, lab expert.
And so with this segment, we're going to talk about the different foods and their pH and why that's important for the different processing methods. So something I always have a hard time articulating is the fact that high acid foods, which you can do in a water bath canner, have a low pH number.
That's right. And it can be really confusing because foods with a low pH have actually high acid, and foods with a lower acid content are actually called high pH foods, and they're found on this end of the scale. This is our nice pH scale, and so that can get really confusing when you're talking about a high acid food versus a low acid food. So
Kind
a
of
low
confusing.
acid food would be no, not a tomato, a piece of corn would be no, wait a minute.
Right?
A low acid food is a piece of corn.
It's so confusing, and sometimes it's hard for people who are preserving to understand exactly which method is right for the foods they're trying to preserve, and that's something we spend a lot of time helping consumers with when they contact our helpline or go on Facebook. And so we really hope that this little segment will help you understand why it's important to preserve different foods that are a different pH because they have a different processing method. So we're going to play a little bit of a game, and we're going to challenge each other to see how we do with knowing what the pH is of some of these different food varieties we have in front of us. So I'm going to challenge you first to blackberries.
I love those, and I think they're probably a little on the high acid side, so they'd have a lower pH. I think probably around 3.
All right, so you're thinking right here?
Yeah.
You're pretty good. It's a good thing he's in our lab because it's 3.7. So we're going to put it kind of right. There's a good place for that.
All right.
All right, challenge me.
All right, I've had a few cups of this today. Coffee. Where do you think coffee falls out on the pH scale?
I don't drink coffee. Bitter. I don't know. Maybe, I know it can do some damage to your teeth. Maybe it's a higher acid, maybe like a 2?
No, you're close. It's actually 4.8, so very close to the berries here.
Okay,
so.
well, okay. High acid, I was in the right direction,
You're
so
close.
that makes me feel pretty good. Milk.
Milk. I would have to say probably around 6.
Oh my word.
Am I good?
You're so good. It's like 6.8.
Oh, 6.8. Oh,
My
closer
goodness.
to 7. So, yeah. Yeah, and you don't want to can that either.
That's
gross.
no dairy safe for canning.
All right. An apple. Let's see.
Okay. So apples are high acid foods. I know this because I can do them in my water bath canner. And I'm going to guess that maybe it's like a 3?
Pretty close, yeah, 3.9. So it would be right here between 3 and 4.
All right. I'm not doing too shabby. I feel pretty good about life right now. Let's go with a tomato.
Tomato. I'm going to guess probably around 3.
This one's 4.9.
Whoa, 4.9.
And you know why tomatoes are really important to understand about the pH? Obviously you do testing in here. So
some people might assume they have a higher acid concentration than they might actually have. So you might have to add another acidulant like vinegar or something like that.
Citric acid would work.
Citric acid was another thing.
And you'll also find with tomatoes that some recipes you can do in a water bath canner, and you do have to add the additional acid, whether it's the lemon juice or a citric acid, but you can also pressure can tomato recipes. So that way they can go both ways actually. So that's pretty cool. All right, I'm ready. Test me.
All right. Green beans.
All right. So they are low acid unless you pickle them.
Right. You can
pickle them, then they can go in the water, but you pretty much can pickle just about anything. I'm going to guess that maybe they're like an 8.
An 8?
I'm getting crazy. I don't know.
Well, not quite that high. Actually, 5.5. So put them
it just looked pretty with the green on the chart.
Yes.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go back to a berry. We got blueberries here.
Blueberries. 3.9.
3.4. You were almost like
close. I'm even going.
You were like almost spot on.
Going to the points now.
Man, I'm impressed.
So, all right. Cherries.
All right. They're high acid. Let's say like 2.7.
That's pretty low. These are actually 3.5. So put them over
it's a
here.
good thing
Kind of
I
run out
follow
of room
recipes.
here.
Yeah.
So.
It's a Good thing. I trust all of the recipes you've developed. So, all right, let's go with the cucumber.
Cucumber.
Let's say that it's pickled.
So you want to make it a pickle. So if it was coming out of the jar, it would have a pretty low pH, high acid, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
because a cucumber, right, would be a vegetable, which would put it more on the low acid. But we're going with a pickle.
Okay.
We're changing it up.
All right. It's kind of like Superman. It's Clark Kent before it goes in the jar, and super pickle when it comes out. It's a cucumber before it goes in, and a pickle when it comes out. I'm going to guess probably around 3.
It's 3.
All right. I got one.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? This is real life right now?
Yeah.
All right. Hit me.
All right. Corn.
I love Indiana sweet corn.
Of course, you pull the husk off of it and take it
Right.
off the cob before you put it in a jar, right?
Right. The cob is not safe for canning. Although if you're doing cream corn, you do get some of that cream out of the cob.
Oh.
But fun fact for the day. Let's say, I don't know, 6.2.
Close. Down here at 7. So
That
right
might be
in
the closest
middle.
I've been.
Yeah.
All right, I saved the best for last.
Root beer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cerveza.
Root beer. Well, I imagine root beer and real beer have quite different pHs. Maybe not. I don't know. I would say 3.5.
I think I may have got you. This
Uh-oh.
is 4.5 to
4.5.
5.3.
Wow. So
Yeah, so there we go. It's kind of actually closer to the coffee. But this just goes to show that even if you think you understand what the pH of different foods are, like, you may not really know exactly. And I hope that your takeaway from this is just a better understanding of which foods you would do in a pressure canner, which is the low acid foods, so your vegetables, versus your high acid foods, which you can safely preserve in a water bath canner. So those are jams, jellies, salsas, those different types of products, pickled products essentially. And hopefully you've enjoyed this. This has been fun for me, so hopefully you've enjoyed it as much as we did.
makes me hungry.
Exactly. So thank you for tuning in to our Science of Canning.